Howdy, I'm Kyle McClinigan, and welcome to this week's episode of the Batt Signal. Student fallout from the announcement that Texas A&M University libraries would face unprecedented structural shifts continues to persist in the campus's public consciousness. Here with more on the story is opinion writer Caleb Elizondo.
When you hear the phrase Library of the Future, what comes to mind? Well, Texas A&M is asking itself just that. Enlisting the assistance of MGT Consulting of America, or MGT, A&M is seeking to research current trends in libraries and identify modifications that will propel our current library system into the world of tomorrow. Currently, MGT is in the process of meeting with faculty in order to formulate additional recommendations designed to meet the administration's goals. However, according to library faculty, communication regarding these changes has been vague and unconstructive. None of us have ever gotten a reason as to why all of this is happening, an anonymous library faculty member, Anne, said. No tangible reason has been given as to why the library needs to change. MGT representatives just keep saying, we want to elevate the libraries, and we're like, what does that mean? So what aspects of the library does A&M hope to improve, and what is the term service unit intended to signify? A&M Vice Chancellor for Strategic Initiatives Greg Hartman said the transition to a service unit was one meant to reimagine what a library can be. You have access to hardcover books, you have access to internet resources, you have access to tutors, you have coffee shops, you have all of these things. The redesign is to facilitate study and creative interaction in different situations and settings, Hartman said. How do we really think about a library being more than just a place where books are stored? The language surrounding the redesign appears to insinuate that the existing library is somehow deficient, despite this notion being definitively false. The current system, in every sense of the term, is already a service unit which works diligently to assist students and faculty members alike. So why attempt to fix what isn't broken? Even if the incoming redesign were to improve these aspects of the library, what little has been revealed is already wreaking havoc. Stripping librarians of their faculty status has left them facing a difficult choice: either find employment in another department or revert to a staff position. However, finding another faculty position at A&M has proved difficult for many librarians. I personally had a very good conversation with my potential department. They sound very supportive of my needs, Anne said. A lot of departments have not had the same reaction. They've been very, you can't be a librarian anymore if you come to us, or we need you to teach classes you may not be qualified for. Given the alternative of accepting a staff position with less job security, many are instead interviewing for positions outside of A&M. With less faculty, the availability and quality of service the system provides will inevitably suffer, particularly for specialized assistants. With changes set to be implemented on September 1st, the future of the library system appears bleak. I anticipate that sort of point-of-need access to someone just to help you find that book, find that article, explain the difference between a scholarly article and a whatever, is going to be potentially more limited, Associate Professor Sierra Ladisall said. We're at a complete stop. How do we even plan for September 1st? We don't even know who we're going to have in the building. With faculty leaving A&M entirely and others transferring to another department, it remains unclear what services the library will be able to provide. If 20 to 30 of us leave for other departments, that leaves 20 to 30 very big full-time jobs that cannot be done, Anne said. Does that get dumped on the librarians who stay as staff, or do those services merely disappear? That's kind of up in the air right now. We really don't know what the library is going to look like. Instead of elevating our current library system, the actions of both A&M administrators and MGT Consulting have left a cloud of anxiety and uncertainty. Despite purporting to seek a more service-oriented library, removing faculty has the potential to endanger these very goals. What is all the more troubling about these changes is the fact that the library plays a pivotal role in our university's research mission. The talented pool of faculty that support and enable our studies is being drained, and there seems to be no stopping point in sight.
the month of April is recognized as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and is allocated to raise awareness about campus resources and support. Here with more on the story is our Assistant Life and Arts Editor, Caroline Wilburn.
The trauma of sexual assault is a battle that does not have to be fought alone. Through awareness, prevention, and support, one can make the journey toward healing. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, or SAAM, when individuals and organizations come together to bring public attention to different forms of sexual violence in an effort to educate the community on prevention and support. At Texas A&M, many organizations and facilities host a series of different campus events to spread awareness, educate the public, and show support for victims. Health promotion specialist Megan Woodfield said that health promotion had a full calendar available for viewing that listed all the month-long events. With hosting these events, the division worked to ensure the events created a comfortable environment. Quote, "This is a topic that centers around trauma and can be a hard thing for a lot of folks to talk about," Woodfield said. Creating spaces where we can talk about support aspects and how this impacts people without folks from campus or community required to report things can make students feel safe in sharing their experience and getting the resources they need. Student Health Services, or SHS, Chief Nursing Officer Kristen Ellis said sexual assault awareness and prevention is important for college students as the campus population is high at risk. Quote, "A lot of cases do go unreported just because there tends to be a lot of shame and blame associated with the sexual assault that occurs," Ellie said. "So letting them know that Student Health is here to be their advocates, we want them to be comfortable coming to us to get the care that they need and the resources that they need afterward," end quote. SHS Chief Medical Officer Dr. Tiffany Skaggs, class of 1999, said SHS provides many health services and resources for sexual assault victims. Quote, "We can take care of their medical needs, put them in contact with our psychologists at the Sexual Assault Resource Center," Dr. Skaggs said. "We can also make sure they have safe housing, make sure their physical needs are taken care of, and then we can do the follow-up where we can do emergency contraception if that's needed," end quote. Act to End Sex Trafficking and Assault, or AESTA, is an organization at A&M that strives to advocate and educate the community on issues revolving around sex trafficking and violence. Social Media and Public Relations Chair Michelle Arnold, a community health junior, said during April, AESTA increased its social media presence to spread awareness. Quote, "We did a post that talked about the statistics surrounding sex trafficking and violence in the U.S., Arnold said. "We also opened the platform that men, women, and people who identify as non-binary are all victims of sexual trafficking assault. It's not the stereotype that just women are victims of rape or assault or sexual harassment," end quote.
The Veterinary Resource and Support Center's peer mentoring program, Veteran Aggie Leaders for Outreach and Resources, also known as Valor, connects incoming student veterans with current student veterans to aid them with their transition to A&M after deployment. Here with more on the story is our Life and Arts Editor, Catherine Miller.
Veteran Aggie Leaders for Outreach and Resources, or Valor, helps student veterans attain holistic success at A&M by providing student veterans with resources and skill development opportunities to reach their personal and professional goals. Valor is a peer mentoring program allowing first-year student veterans to access resources to develop connections and create an educational plan to help with their future academic success. The program allows incoming student veterans to connect with current student veterans to help with career development and to create a sense of community within A&M's student veteran population. Valor graduate assistant Carly Mark said in the mentoring program, non-first-year student veterans take on a peer mentor position to advise first-year student veterans. Through this peer mentoring program, Mark said Valor becomes a support system for new student veterans to successfully acclimate to A&M. Quote, "With veterans moving from military service into A&M and not being the traditional student, they already have a bunch of different things going against them," Mark said. "Not only do they have someone to relate to in this program, but we work on helping them with academic success, building a support system within the community, and their financial success, because a lot of them use veteran affair benefits, which is different for most of us." As a peer mentor with Valor, history junior David Haney said student volunteers such as himself who have the heart and desire to advocate for student veterans are the foundation of the program. Quote, "To have an organization or program like Valor where student veterans with that kind of drive see their peers succeed and get the most out of their time here at A&M, it's a great opportunity and it's really an honor for those students who are participating," Haney said. Haney said the most important job of a peer leader is to be the face of what Valor stands for, as well as being of service to the student veterans and supplementing their needs. Quote, "It's not a bureaucratic process. It's a process of getting to know the student veteran, making a connection with them, finding out what it is they need, and what Valor can do to either fulfill that need either at the Veteran Resource and Support Center or VRSC, or to connect them directly with someone," Haney said. In this day and age, it's really easy to call a place and then get transferred to someone else that transfers you to someone else. It can be time-consuming and frustrating, so our job is to cut all of that out and be the middleman. VRSC Assistant Director and co-founder of Valor, retired Sergeant Major Donald Freeman, said the program imitates assimilating to the military so the veterans have a sense of familiarity. In the military, as you go from one duty station to another duty station, you're always assigned a sponsor, and that sponsor's mission is to help integrate you to whatever your new duty station is, Freeman said. That's why we created it. We want to make sure that the veterans didn't feel left out or isolated. It's kind of like a permanent change of station, or PCS move, where you move from a duty station to a duty station, but you move from a duty station to college. We want to make sure they get well integrated into A&M and they have no issues, whether it's academics, financial, social well-being, or career for life after college.
Voting is underway again in the Brazos County for the special election beginning this past Monday, April 25th. Ahead of the May 7th special election, early voting in Brazos County will feature ballots from 2 state of Texas propositions, with Proposition number 1 being for a limitation on the total ad valorem taxes for elementary and secondary education on the residence of elderly and disabled individuals. Proposition number 2 suggests an increase in the resident homestead exemption from $25,000 to $40,000. Additionally, there are 2 propositions for Brazos County Service Districts number 3 and 4 concerning the local and used sale tax not to exceed 1.5. The ballot for both the Democratic and Republican parties are also posted on the brazosvoters.org website for the upcoming runoff election on May 24th, with early voting beginning May 16th. The Democratic ballot features state races including Michelle Beckey and Mike Collier for Lieutenant Governor, Rochelle Mercedes Garcia, Joe Yolovosky for Attorney General, Janet T. Dubbing and Angel Lewis Vega for Comptroller of Public Accounts, and Sandra Grace Martinez and Jake Helber for Commissioner of the General Land Office. Locally, Prentice E. Madison Sr. and Wanda J. Watson will battle for County Commissioner of Precinct 4, and Darrell Booker and Selena Vaquez for Justice of the Peace of Precinct 4. The Republican ballot features statewide races between Kent Paxton and George P. Bush for Attorneys General, Tim Weasley and Don Buckingham for Commissioner of the Land Grant Office, and Wayne Christian and Sarah Stogner for Railroad Commissioner. At the local level, the ballot sees Kyle Kakal and Ben Bias for District 12 State Representative, Gabrielle Garcia and Margaret Meese for District Clerk, Rush Ford and Chuck Conderla for County Commissioner of Precinct 2, Keith Baisley and Rudy Schultz for Precinct Chair 27, Mary Stelshowski and Mark S. Browning for Precinct Chair 64, and Brandon Gaines and Maria Shams for Precinct Chair 88. To participate in early voting for the special election, voters should already be registered and must bring a valid form of identification. Students can vote on campus in the MSC from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., from April 25th to 29th, and from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. from May 2nd to the 3rd. For more information and all voting locations, please visit thebat.com. Finals can be a stressful time, and many find comfort in their favorite TV shows. Here to talk more about comfort shows are Ruben Hernandez and Michaela Rush.
Howdy, my name is Michaela Rush.
And I'm Ruben Hernandez.
And this is Calculated Culture. So today we just wanted to do a more chill, fun topic, especially with finals right around the corner. Ruben and I decided we wanted to talk about our comfort TV shows. So we're going to give you, each of us is going to give you 2 comfort shows that just kind of help us to get through the roughness of life and school especially. So do you want to start with our first one, Ruben?
Well, we have to say it's like personal comfort shows. Because
yes.
One of my comfort shows is not comforting at all.
Okay, you should start with that one.
Okay, well, my first comfort show has to be It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, yeah, I love that show.
It is hands down one of the best TV shows I've ever watched. I remember binge watching it when I had like a Hulu account. I I remember. Have you watched the show?
I have.
Do you know the episode Sweetie gets audited?
Yes.
Where it's the child, the dead dog in the coffin, and then Dee has to pretend that she's crying over her dead baby.
Yes.
2 a.m. trying not to wake up my family, just silent crying, tears running down my face.
Yep.
I don't think it can get any better than that. That's my number one pick.
I love that. And I love that show too because the first time I watched it, I was violently ill with a stomach bug, and it was like I didn't want to focus on anything, but that show made me feel so much better, and it was like I was mad about how much I was laughing, especially if I didn't feel good. So it's just such a great show. So yeah, that's a great first pick.
The best way to describe it, it's the downward spiral of terrible people. Because the producers are always like, they were mad that almost every TV show was like, oh, it's terrible people. And then as the series progresses, like, oh my God, like they're such good people. They start off bad and they just go worse and worse and worse.
I love it. Just like real life.
It's like real life. Maybe that's why it's so comforting.
Maybe.
Because to disassociate to like something like more like, I don't know, like ideal, it's just like unrealistic. And here it's like, wow, that is humanity.
Yep, humanity described through
Exactly.
It's Always Sunny. Yeah. Awesome. Well, my first pick is probably more of a traditional comfort show pick. Parks and Rec is I have watched that show so many times through, and the best thing about being a repeat offender with that show is that the first season is not good. Like, objectively speaking, it's not good. But because I've watched it so many times, I love going back and watching the full first season because every time I watch it, I know exactly where all the jokes are. I know exactly where they did and didn't land.
The child-size cup.
And the child-size cup.
That's probably
it's so funny. And yeah, that's the show I always
if
go
a child
to.
got liquefied
Yes.
and put into a cup.
It'd be approximately this size. Yes. Yes. That's a great one.
Or the one that they were like, the sign said don't drink the water, and I made lemonade from it, and I got a stomach virus.
Yes.
Talk to your manager.
Yes. The one where Ron's sitting at the circle desk,
Yeah.
and he's just like,
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Excuse me, sir.
That is a very comforting show because it's sort of like It's Always Sunny, but it's just like the stupidity of people.
Yep.
And just people trying to make it better. And it's just
yep.
failing
Yep.
miserably.
Agreed. Okay, so what is
Does
your...
that mean that you think it's better than The Office?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because like The Office just always gets hype. And I don't want to say The Office is bad because it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's just like I'm
It
tired
is
of people
overhyped.
talking about it. Like, please just let me enjoy it privately on my own time.
Like, people still making like meme accounts
Goodbye. No.
in 2022.
No, not the thing to do.
Sad.
Anyways, so what is your next or what your
It's
second
a
pick?
recent comfort show from Netflix. It's Grace and Frankie.
Oh yeah, I know that's like one of your favorites. So why do you like it so
I've
much?
barely finished the first season, and I just love it so much. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like Grace and like the characters Grace and Frankie completely like encapsulate my personality. The radical of like, Grace, the prude, the one that has to be like picture perfect, and Frankie that's just like, let go of it. Just let go of it.
Yes.
I just love the characters. And also the way that they set up the whole story and how each character like relates to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
I love that. That's great.
But yeah,
great.
and I hope I have the motivation to keep on going.
Yes. Okay, so my next one, this is not a surprise to anybody who works with me because I talk about the show probably too often given that I'm 21 years old. But my next one is Phineas and Ferb. I watch Phineas and Ferb so much. Like, I think I watch it more now than I did when I was a kid.
That needs to be inducted in the National Library of Congress.
I'm saying, okay,
It's
Congress,
just
you
that
know what you gotta
good.
do. It's so good. And then
the music?
The music is incredible, and I've always been a big music person. And then Dan Povenmire's like TikTok is hilarious too. So he'll mention something about an episode on his TikTok, and then I'm like, all right, well, I gotta go watch that episode. Obviously.
Oh my god, it's just
And
you're just like, oh, he talked about it.
yeah,
Sorry,
I
gotta
have to go watch it. And it's like, show me one part of that show that's bad. Like, just like that's not good. Exactly. There's not a part that's not
there's
good.
not.
The music is great. The animation is like super cool and it's very distinct. All the
story
characters
arcs.
are fun. And Candace is like unfortunately very relatable to
She's
me.
queen.
Like, if you wanted to know what
She was one of my favorite characters.
if you want to know what high achieving anxiety looks like, look no further than Candace Flynn. So
She is queen.
yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to say about comfort shows?
Hopefully, you find these comforting as well. But if you don't, then you don't. But hopefully, this will be like like an open window for you to, expand your options.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys can always like tweet your comfort shows at us if you really want to. I'm on Twitter at Michaela for Batt.
And I'm at Batt and Muse.
But we hope you guys have as calm as it can be. Finals week, and just stay
Pass your
tough out there.
classes.
Yes, please don't fail. Don't fail.
You still got what, like 2 weeks,
Kind of.
week and a half.
Anyways,
got it.
That's all we
You
have
got
for
it.
you. Bye.
Bye.
This week's contributors are Caleb Lizondo, Morgan Gentry, Catherine Miller, and Aubrey Vogel.